If you've ever felt like Earth just doesn't get you, or that you're here for something bigger but you can't quite put it into words, you might resonate with the concept of a starseed.
For generations, women were shamed for trusting themselves, sensing things before they happen, and believing in their own power. No one encouraged them to embrace it until now. Welcome to Trust Yourself.
Hi, I'm Elise, but my sister calls me Sissy.
And I'm her sister, Heidi.
In this episode, we're diving into the roots of what a starseed is, how it emerged through New Age thought, signs you might be one, and if this idea doesn't resonate with you, don't worry, because we're also talking about Earthseeds, who are souls that are deeply rooted on this planet. So whether you're galactic or grounded or still figuring it out, or maybe you just love aliens.
Yes.
This episode is going to be a blasty blast. Get it? Blast off.
Yeah, I get,
was that
I get
dumb?
That was good. This is great. It was a good dad joke.
Good. I'm cheesy
Nailed
sometimes. I like the dad jokes. All right, if you're like me, you're probably like, what the heck is a starseed? The core idea of a starseed is that people have souls who originate from other planets, star systems, or dimensions, and they are reincarnated here on Earth for a higher purpose. The idea of starseed, or some people call them star people, has roots in several overlapping movements, but the modern form of the concept emerged in the 1970s, 1980s New Age movement. So UFO culture has been around since ancient times, but it became really popular in the 40s and 50s with stories about being contacted and abducted. Then Helena Blavatsky and later Alice Bailey introduced the ideas about cosmic hierarchies, or quote unquote root races, and advanced beings that are guiding humanity. These laid the groundwork for thinking about human extraterrestrial, I can't say that word.
It's a hard one.
Human extraterrestrial spiritual connections. The actual term starseed didn't appear until the 1970s. So Brad Steiger's 1976 book, Gods of Aquarius, is the first one to use it explicitly, describing people who feel alien to Earth and believe they came from stars with a mission. And in 1992, Heidi, I know you have this book, Barbara Markinac wrote Bringers of the Dawn and popularized the idea through channeling Pleiadian and other galactic beings. So this concept blends so well with astrology and reincarnation, so that this is really a sort of a New Age spirituality staple, the idea of starseeds. Okay, so do I believe that starseeds are aliens walking around as people in people suits? No. You do? I mean, I'm sure there are some aliens walking around in people suits, but what I think a starseed is that people who have just experienced their first lives on other planets. And maybe because of that, they may be in tune with other frequencies or have desires for a higher understanding than just what's here on Earth. So,
but then wouldn't the definition of extraterrestrial mean they are beings from not of Earth, so they would be aliens?
Oh, so then they would be aliens.
Exactly.
I mean, in that sense, aren't we all not of this Earth?
That's what I say too.
I don't
think
know.
we're all extraterrestrials.
Bizarre. I think this topic is really important because there are people out there who just don't feel like they belong. So with the concept of starseeds, their whole lives suddenly have a framework that celebrates their uniqueness rather than pathologizing it. So what are some signs or characteristics that you may be a starseed? One is a feeling of displacement, always feeling different or like you don't belong, especially you don't belong here on Earth. You may feel very ungrounded, like you're kind of up in the ether. You have these thoughts that you're daydreaming almost, right? You also have strong intuition, strong psychic intuition, strong sensitivity, and very empathic. There also may be a deep longing for home or a cosmic home, like you're always staring up at the stars, like, oh my gosh, I just feel so connected to that more than this grass that I'm standing on.
I feel like that was you as a kid.
It totally was, but also now I feel very grounded. So I don't know. I feel a little bit of both.
Yeah.
So you feel drawn to the stars, the galaxies, extraterrestrials, interstellar mythologies, something beyond the material world, right? Maybe also your life path or your mission is oriented around wanting to help people, to heal, to contribute to society in spiritual ways and collective healing ways. And if you're a starseed, you may often experience very vivid dreams of specifically flying, apparently.
Oh, okay.
And maybe flying in space.
Yeah.
I have some flying dreams, but it's usually like I'm flying and I'm flapping my arms really hard, but then I'm like, I'm sinking slowly. I'm like, no, go back up.
You're too dense.
I'm too dense here. Maybe that's why I used to fly in a past life, and now I'm like, what is happening to me?
My flying dreams are like I have to run and then I just jump and then I can like float and fly like in
So you don't
space.
sink at all?
No.
Oh, lucky. This last one, I know Heidi is going to resonate with you. So if you are a starseed, you may also have a strong inner resistance to control.
You're not talking about me. What? What do you mean?
A struggle to fit into societal norms, Heidi.
I create my own norms.
What does that sign say behind you again?
Challenge the norm?
I love it. Yes. So if you're feeling isolated, if you're feeling misunderstood, look into starseeds. And I'm going to be honest, I just learned about these. So
I mean,
I'm
me
also
too.
feeling excited.
I'm fairly new to learning about these. I think I first heard about them through Larissa, who we're going to have on our podcast here shortly. She did my first past life regression, and she talked to me about starseeds, and I was like, okay, I must learn everything about them.
Yeah, it's so fascinating. Once you really dive in, it's really cool. So let's talk about the different types and origins of starseeds. There are so many that I've discovered, but also I'm sure there's many that aren't even written about yet. I mean, can you imagine? We don't even know all of the galaxies that are in our universe right now. So how are we to know all of the different starseeds?
Impossible.
So what we're going to do is we're going to break down the 6 most commonly channeled starseed types. And these are the Pleiadian, the Syrian, Arcturian, Lyran, Orion, and Andromedan. And if I said any of those wrong, I'm really sorry, because these are tricky.
This is like when you're reading one of the fantasy romance novels and you're like, I don't know what any of these names actually sound like, but I'm going to make them up in my head.
But they look fucking cool. Like that
They do.
Arcturian. Hell yeah. That looks strong.
It's like an architect, which is like you. So I feel like that's you.
Yes. All right, let's first talk about, Heidi, the Pleiadian starseeds.
Yes. Can I tell you about how I learned about Pleiades?
Oh, yeah, please.
So this is a very random story, but I promise it makes sense eventually.
My favorite.
So my husband went to go pick up something off of Facebook Marketplace. And as he was there, he was told the house down the street is going to be coming up for rent. And he was like, that's really random. Thanks for telling me that. He doesn't
I like this story already.
need that. Yeah. It was so random. And then he comes home and tells me, hey, this random house is going up for rent. And it's cool. It's an old chapel. And he showed it to me. I was like, whoa, that's super cool. I want to rent it so that I can hold like ghost stories and like women's sacred circles in there.
Hell yeah.
So when I was looking at it, it's an old chapel that they just basically converted into a house. And I think this was actually probably the first time that I really actually channeled something, because I had a download and I heard the Seven Sisters. And I was like, oh, that's a really sweet name. Like this could be like the Seven Sisters Chapel, and I could have people gather there. And how neat is that? And so then I wanted to see if there was anything else called like the Seven Sisters. And that is when I found out about Pleiades, because Pleiades is the 7 stars, and they called it the Seven Sisters. And then from there, I went down a rabbit hole and I learned all about Pleiadian starseeds. And I said, oh my God, I think that's me.
Yeah. So something I did forget to mention was that these starseeds are from different constellations. So the Pleiadians are from Pleiades within the Taurus constellation. So what's unique about Pleiadians is that they are known as the empaths and the healers of the cosmos. Like Heidi said, they hail from the Seven Sisters, and they carry strong, nurturing, intuitive, and artistic, like creative energy. Their mission here is to help Earth remember love, beauty, harmony, and feminine wisdom. Where are those Pleiades girls? Come on. So their society is still believed to be quote unquote alive within a higher vibrational realm.
Like they're currently still there.
Like they're currently still there.
I would love that. That makes sense. Because it also seems like there's a ton of them coming, a ton of them being here too.
Yeah. They're often described as light-skinned, luminous humanoids with, this is kind of funny, with gentle eyes and radiant energy.
That sounds like me.
They're said to pop up in your meditations or your dreams with energy healings of and messages of peace and self-worth, which is pretty cool. Something else that's interesting is Pleiadians, not the Starseeds reincarnated here on Earth, but the actual Pleiadian aliens were said to have visited Earth frequently back in the 1950s, specifically but not exclusively in Europe. Of course, there's no accepted evidence of this, but there's a large community that believes Pleiadians are still alive and thriving and visit Earth frequently. I don't think they're related to the Greys, but I think they're more light beings. The next one is the Syrians. Syrian starseeds are so fascinating. Syrian starseeds have a lot of complexity about them. So they are also deeply spiritual and intuitive people and often drawn to metaphysical topics like this, like our podcast. Thank you. And they're creative and innovative with interests in fields like mathematics, astronomy, art, computer science. And they can be calm and diplomatic, peaceful, loyal. A lot of them are acting as peacekeepers and guardians for humanity. However, there is a potential for some slight arrogance due to their advanced intellect and understanding. They may sometimes come across as a little bit of a know-it-all, so sometimes they may need to learn to soften their communication and be more present with others. But Syrian starseeds are said to have come from two stars, specifically Sirius A and Sirius B. Sirius A is home to ascended masters and the councils of the light. They are drawn to ancient cultures and civilizations, and they may seem more like cultured beings. And Sirius B is actually home to dolphin-like beings. So these starseeds probably feel a great affinity towards water, the ocean, and aquatic life. This is also where the ties of Egypt and Atlantis come into play.
Yeah. Ooh, maybe we have some of that in us because we've been told in past lives we've spent many lifetimes in Egypt.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Syrian starseeds from Sirius A are thought to be connected with ancient Egypt. Some spiritual teachings suggest that Syrian beings assisted the ancient Egyptians in building the pyramids, and the pyramids were also allegedly aligned with the Sirius constellation to maintain connection with the Syrian star system. Say that 10 times fast. Syrian star system. So because of this strong past life connection to ancient Egypt, modern starseeds from Sirius, they often feel drawn to Egyptian culture and history and artifacts. I mean, if you love the movie The Mummy, I do.
That makes sense. I feel like I resonate with almost all of these.
And you might.
It's hard.
You might. Then we have Syrian starseeds from Sirius B, and they are thought to be connected to the lost city of Atlantis. These starseeds are believed to carry the memories and spiritual codes of the lost civilization of Atlantis, and many report having vivid past life memories of swimming with dolphins or mermaid-like creatures and living in underwater environments.
Please.
Overall, the central aspect of the Syrian starseeds mission is to help guide humanity's ascension during times of turbulence and lead the planet into the golden age of happiness and prosperity. All right, bring it on, Syrians. Let's go. Let's elevate. And if we are talking about Syrian starseeds, I cannot not talk about the Dogon tribe in Mali, West Africa. The Dogons believed that their aquatic ancestors, the Nomo, came from the Sirius star system. Again, this is so hard to say. Sirius star system. Sorry. Came from Sirius. They believed that their Nomo ancestral spirit visited them on Earth centuries ago and gave them astronomical information about the Sirius star system, which was unknown to Western science until the 19th and 20th centuries. The Dogon tribe knew that Sirius was a binary star system orbiting a larger star, Sirius A. They also knew that the invisible companion star, Sirius B, was extremely dense. And they correctly identified Sirius B's 50-year elliptical orbit period. Hello. They also spoke of a third, smaller star, Sirius C, that has been speculated about but not scientifically confirmed. So we'll see on that. We'll see. Of course, there's controversy and skepticism over this, but I find it fascinating nonetheless. Okay, that's a lot on Syrian, so let's move on. All right, the next one, I love this one. It's the Arcturian starseed.
This one's 100% you, not me. Too much structure.
Yes. They come from the brightest star in the constellation, I can't pronounce this, Bootis?
Sounds good.
Okay, Arcturian starseeds are your tech wizards, your quantum healers, and energetic architects, if you will. Yeah. And they are considered guardians of sacred knowledge. Arcturians possess strong intuition, telepathic abilities, and a desire to foster universal love and unity. Their presence is thought to influence and accelerate Earth's spiritual awakening and the process of ascension. So we need those Arcturians too.
Okay, maybe I am a little bit Arcturian too.
Yeah. Looking into Arcturian alien species, and this is, mind you, according to alien fandom, so take what you want, leave what you don't like. They are said to still be alive and thriving as a species and regarded as one of the most spiritually and technologically advanced civilizations in the Milky Way. Arcturians are known for their peaceful nature and their role in galactic exploration and contributions to, apparently, interstellar diplomacy. They are believed to be one of the founding members of the Galactic Federation of United Planets. I don't know what that is, but that's pretty cool. These beings are really concerned for the welfare and the future of Earth, and apparently have been in orbit of Earth since 1947, according to this fandom website, which also happens to be the year of the famous Roswell incident. The physical appearance of Arcturians has been described to be similar to that of Greys, but apparently they're unrelated. So Arcturians are short in stature with large, dark, almond-shaped eyes, long arms, short legs, and apparently 4 digits on each hand. But this species does have a deep affinity for Earth, loves Earth, and apparently comes to visit quite often. Probably also checking up on the Arcturian starseeds. Heyo. And that makes me wonder if it was actually Arcturians who helped clean up the atmosphere after some of the nuclear power plant explosions that we've had. If you've seen, there's some speculation that it was aliens that helped clean up the radiation in the atmosphere. Like Fukushima, there were some sightings. I think people had it videotaped that they saw a UFO in the sky right after that explosion. They were taking measurements of the radiation around the area before and after it drastically changed.
Yeah,
which
I remember that.
Believe what you want. I think that's pretty cool. So
it's so cool. It's like they want, us humans are destroying the planet. And then the aliens are like, guys, fucking knock it off. Like, we're going to intervene if we have to, but take better care of your planet.
Yeah. Also, I thought there was a really fascinating documentary on this. Sorry, going a little off topic, but there's a really fascinating documentary on this school in Africa where a UFO was said to have landed, and this being came out and telepathically told this child, you need to start taking care of this Earth. It's hurting. Like, help the Earth. So they aren't here to harm. They're here to help. And that UFO came down in the middle of a school playground. So tons of kids saw it. And of course, kids, they didn't believe them, but I do. I think it's cool.
I believe you. I believe you, children. I believe everybody.
I believe you. The next starseed we're going to talk about is Lyrans, and they are from the constellation Lyra. And within Lyra specifically, the brightest star of the Lyran constellation is Vega, and that's where they're said to have originated.
Which is the one that, it is the brightest star. It has been calling to me the last few days. I keep seeing it. And
tell your story.
Oh God, you guys, I swear I was not on anything when this happened.
No, she was not. I can vouch for this.
I was outside watching the stars, stargazing, and the universe kind of felt off, like a little different. And I felt literally like there were some aliens about. And I've never witnessed any UFO or alien activity, but I just had this sense, this feeling. I'm like, there's something happening in the cosmos. I can't explain it. And as I'm looking directly up in the middle of my vision, not in the peripheral or anything, in the middle of my vision, all of a sudden a star blinks on, and it is a bright ass star. And I was like, did anybody else see that? Nobody else was around me. And I got out my Stargazer app and I looked at it, and it was Vega. Like, there's so no way that it would have been like I didn't see it, because it was also right above me, and it was, you know, it's brighter and it's bigger, but all of a sudden it just appeared out of freaking
just
nowhere.
Turned on.
And it wasn't, and of course my husband's a little skeptical too, and I was telling him about it, and I was like, well, maybe there was like a cloud that passed over it, or a tree branch or something. And I was like, I was out there for 30 minutes before this happened. Like, it wasn't just like something flew in front of it, and it was a clear night. So I don't know. It was just interesting. And then ever since then, every time I look up, it feels like it's calling to me. Maybe it wants me to come home.
Come home, Heidi. Nah, it wants you to inspire here on Earth.
Yes. I think from what I've kind of felt and gathered to and spoken about with other mediums and people who do this type of work, they kind of say it's like everybody almost originated from Lyra. It's like the oldest one. And so we have like real deep connections to it.
Yeah, they were the OG cosmic ancestors, right? And they were actually described as feline humanoid hybrids.
That's right.
So they're linked with like the cat goddess archetypes. So they're elegant, strong, and passionate.
Maybe that's why I really want a Sphinx cat.
Yeah, but the Lyran civilization was said to have been destroyed in a galactic war, forcing survivors to flee and become the ancestors of other star races. Some stories claim that a small group of Lyran survivors fled to Mars to avoid persecution. And maybe that's why I feel so drawn to Mars.
Maybe you're actually a Martian.
Maybe I was. I mean, I guarantee you there was life on Mars at some point. There had to have been. So Lyran's mission is about helping us remember the power of our voice and our creativity.
Ooh.
And
I just got full body chills. I think that's me.
But I think it's fascinating that because their community was destroyed, it was noted that some people that have these Lyran lineages, they do have a little hint of like revenge in them, a little anger maybe bottled up.
That was definitely me.
That also, I can resonate with that too.
Spicy? We got a little
Just
spice.
a little spice. Like, yeah, I'd feel a little angry if my whole entire world just collapsed. So, all right, then we have Orion starseeds. Orion, obviously.
As in the belt?
As in the belt. Orion is from the Orion constellation. Now, Orion starseeds are often described as warriors and scholars with a thirst for truth and balance and a deep connection to universal law. Lawyers, anyone? They can sometimes struggle with overthinking and skepticism due to their analytical nature. Maybe this could also be me. However, despite this nature, they often have a deep longing for peace, connection, and emotional safety. They like to provide clarity and understanding to moments of confusion. Okay, we could use a lot of those Orions now too. Please, I feel confused. Because Orion's galactic history apparently involved war, conflict, and division, a lot of these starseeds carry some karmic weight, and they're here to transmute shadow into the light. Their mission is to challenge systems, spark change, and bring balance through truth. All right, the last one we're going to talk about today is the Andromedan starseeds.
I like this one too.
They are from the Andromeda galaxy, just beyond our Milky Way. Andromedans. Oops, not Andromedans. That sounds like a dinosaur.
Andromedans. Apparently there's dinosaurs in Andromeda too. So,
whoops. Andromedans are powerful healers connected to the body. And in the book, Activate Your Cosmic DNA, they describe the abilities of Andromedan starseeds as being a human X-ray machine, and they can literally feel people's ailments inside their own bodies.
I resonated with this so much when I listened to this book, because just in the last few weeks, I've been told through our psychic coach, Carly, that I have this ability, and I started practicing it on TikTok Live, and it fucking works, man. I've gotten somebody that messaged me just the other day with like an update of how much better she's doing. And I was just like, whoa, this is amazing. It's very interesting.
Well, yeah, when I hered that, I'm like, oh, this is so Heidi. You literally describe yourself as a human X-ray machine in one of our previous episodes. So I'm like, Heidi, Andromedan. Yeah. But of course you love these, Heidi, because they are free-spirited and justice-focused, rebellious, high vibe innovators.
Yeah, we're besties, for sure.
We're besties. Yeah, they're visionaries who often incarnate with this feeling of off-grid, like, I don't want to connect to anything here on Earth. I'm just going to do my own thing, be very hyper-independent, creative, but also very deep sense of justice and equality, because you want planetary healing. Also, what's interesting is their galaxy is not as structured as others. So that's probably why.
Oh, no wonder I want to be there.
Yeah. So that's why they kind of just go with the flow.
I feel like my Virgo sun is like, Heidi, you traitor. And then my Sagittarius rising is like, let's go. They just want to like fight each other all the time.
Yeah. So you can resonate with one of these very deeply, but maybe you resonate with almost all of them. I mean, I do think there are probably a lot of mixed races out there. I feel like one.
Me too.
Which Heidi said, that's probably why you like DEI so much. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Heidi, what do you resonate with the most?
I mean, I guess I feel as an extra pull to Pleiadians because of my download, but it's almost like I have a split personality, because I feel like I have my nurturing, my soft, my nurse side of me. And then I have this like fiery, just want to like cause destruction of structure and just want to rebel against structure. I have these two very different sides of me. So while Pleiadians feel like they're in my soul, I also really resonate with the Andromedans.
Yes.
Because yeah, like the free spirit and just being like, why? We don't need this. We don't need money. We don't need healthcare systems like this. We can just heal ourselves. Let's take care of each other. I want to create a yurt community where I just live with like 6 of my besties, and then we bring in people. But like, I just want to create my own community because I don't like these structures anymore.
I love that so much.
If you're ready for a yurt community, hit me up.
I'm in. Actually, I'm more so like the old historic haunted castle community.
Yeah, you're going to be, yeah. Well, we can also do that because we got to have like this haunted castle in Scotland.
Yeah.
And then also live in a yurt community for our summer home. I don't know.
Yes. Okay, so if you've listened to all of those and you were like, nah, don't really feel like any of them, that's totally fine, because guess what? There's Earthseeds too.
Okay, tell me about these, because I've never heard about Earthseeds.
So yes, Earthseeds exist, and it doesn't mean that you're less than a starseed. An Earthseed is actually, they're believed to be souls that have origins in Earth. So they've incarnated here for the first time and maybe even many times. So it doesn't necessarily mean you are a new seed, if you will. It could be that you have just had your lifetime and many lifetimes here on Earth, and maybe only Earth. So rather than carrying galactic homesickness, Earthseeds, they carry a deep connection to this planet, its rhythms, its history, and its ancestral wounds. So if you're an Earthseed, you feel very grounded and drawn to Earth-based wisdom. You feel called to help nature. They tend to take jobs that are rooted in ecoscience or something with animals, and you have an unshakable connection to your own ancestral cultural roots. And also maybe you're doing the healing work to reclaim that too. You might also feel a little bit more skeptical of the woo circles because you're not as drawn to space or aliens or beings from elsewhere, because you're like, no, I'm so grounded in this reality. This makes sense to me. So we might not have a lot of Earthseeds listening to this podcast right now, but but if we have one, welcome.
Welcome, Earthling.
Nice to meet you. But it does not mean that you're less than, because Earthseeds are also medicine carriers. So they're lineage weavers, the ones who dig deep into the soil of this human experience and transform it from the inside out. So even though we say, all of these star seeds are very much connected to your intuition, I think Earth seeds can also be connected to their intuition, but a very grounded, rooted intuition. And you are doing the messy work of being a human, right? So you're anchors for us star seeds who are just like, woo, flying away.
It's like a balloon. It's the weight of the balloon so that we don't float away into the sky.
Right.
Okay, so here are some common questions or maybe myths about star seeds. First one, is it just escapism?
I think it can be. If you're using it to avoid healing, grounding, or doing that messy work of being a human. But at its best, I think it's a spiritual framework that helps people remember their purpose. So let's be real, the world is very overwhelming right now. And some people do escape. They escape into Netflix, into conspiracy theories.
Anything could be escapism. You could say, I read fantasy and that's escapism because I want to be into a different world.
Yes. Yeah. And also some of us stare up at the stars and we wonder, is this where we came from? The key is to ask yourself, are you using it to expand yourself or are you using it to just check out?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's perfect. I'm all about growth and expansion. Hello, I'm a Life Path 5. And I think that when we look at starseeds or learn about them, it does expand your world. Mm-hmm. All right, next myth. You need a psychic to tell you your starseed origin.
Absolutely frickin' not. Sorry. Nope, false. That is
false.
Star system gatekeeping.
It is. It really is.
You don't need them to tell you your galactic blueprint because
you don't need anyone to tell you where you're from.
Yeah. Or
Period.
even ChatGPT, to be honest. Honestly, it's like Heidi and I were just reading through these and it's what you feel most connected to is probably what you resonate with and you've probably been there.
Yeah.
So,
I think your own resonance is the biggest truth teller because resonance is a feeling that you can't fake it. You can't
exactly
create it some other way. If you read something or you learn about something and it really resonates with you, it's for a reason.
Yeah. And psychics can validate or expand on that, but you know your own truth. So that's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Question number 3. I think I've mixed questions and myths because, hello, I'm ADHD.
That's okay.
Number 3. Does it conflict with religion or culture?
Being a starseed?
Yes, does being a starseed.
I think it depends on how you interpret both. Some people blend starseed concepts with their faith beautifully. I mean, like you can say, I'm seeing angels as interdimensional beings or interpret heaven as a higher vibrational plane. And others feel like it contradicts what they're taught. And honestly, I think that's okay. But spirituality is personal. So I always say, take what resonates and leave what doesn't, open to evolving, Yeah. And the idea of starseeds does not have to replace your beliefs. It's just kind of another added layer and one that can help you reconnect with your intuition, with your purpose, and a sense that you came here for a reason, which isn't that also what your religion should be doing too? Like to help you connect to a higher purpose?
Yeah. I think it's all the same.
Ta-da! Look at us. Cracked it open.
Woo! We are all aliens, guys.
Yay. All right. So really quickly, Heidi, what are some ways that if you feel like you want to explore or awaken these memories, if this does resonate with you, what are some ways that you can do that?
Well, I'll tell you what I did. This is what I did yesterday. After seeing all the weird cosmic stuff in the sky, I've just been going out and stargazing and then opening up like my heart chakra and just sending a lot of love and saying, I am open to receiving messages. I'm open to receiving anything that I need to know. If you want to come to me in my dreams, I'm an open book, guys. You can land your mothership in my backyard. I don't care.
Just the nice ones.
Yeah, but just being that beacon of light and saying that, hey, I'm here. I want to learn more. Meditation, sure.
But
I don't have time for meditation.
Yeah.
But for me, like dream work is really important to me. And I have a really good like dream relationship, if that makes sense, where I can really interpret my dreams and I can track my dreams. So I really like doing my learning through dreams, but also reading books. Like our psychic coach, Carly, just gave us this really amazing book about Pleiadians. So
yeah, and please,
to
go read those if you feel called and drawn to one of them, because you're going to learn a lot more from that than from what I just said, because mine was very high level.
Yeah, it's super interesting. Even the first 10 minutes of that book is incredible. Bringers of Dawn, that book about Pleiadians. And the first 10 minutes are amazing, but also I think I only have 30 minutes left of it. And I'm just like, whoa, it kind of makes my head spin, but in the best way.
Yeah. I think too, also just going back to a childlike sense of wonder and dreaming, because I remember when I was young and I looked up at the stars and I said, man, I really want to go to Mars so bad. Yep. I wanted to be a rock scientist also, and not just any rock scientist. I wanted to be a Mars rock scientist. Very specific.
They have very specific rocks there. So
apparently,
you would need to be a Mars rock
But I just
scientist.
felt so drawn to that. And I remember dreaming about it. So if we kind of like let our minds wander, what pops up? But also, I think what's very important if you do feel like you're a starseed is grounding practices, because starseeds feel so ungrounded. We feel so way up in the clouds, up in the ether, that we do need to stay grounded because, hey, we chose this life. We're here on Earth today. So
I'd like to have a conversation with myself who chose this life. Thanks.
Just keep your mental health in check. By grounding, just step on some grass and say, it's okay to be here. I'm okay. All right. Well, this is a good time, Heidi. Let's do our tarot for the week.
And I'm going to do my Earth Magic Oracle deck today because I feel like, we need some grounding because of all of us starseeds are
all the celestial talk.
We're like a little dandelion seed flying around the sky. Oh, look at this. Dawn. New beginnings.
No way.
Bringers of the Dawn, anybody?
Wow. Well, someone needs to read that book.
I think I'm Pleiadian. This is confirmation.
That's awesome.
I love it. I love that. So Bringers of the Dawn, because we are all here for a reason. For this lifetime, we have decided to incarnate on Earth. And we want to do this because even if we are Starseeds or Earthseeds, we want to raise the Earth's vibration. So if this resonated with you, please let us know in the comments which starseed that you feel the most drawn to. And it could be multiple, so let us know.
And until next time, it's your move, sis.
Make it count. Bye.